The seagulls follow trawler. It's because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.
Talking nonsense. So I thought, no, enough's enough. Why should I put up with that? Talking nonsense. So I thought, no, enough's enough. Why should I put up with that? Don't back down, double down. Don't back down, double down.
Alright guys, hello and welcome. We're joining us on the bus this morning. Thank you for this. This is the Sunday Blether with me, Reegan, and the main man, Russell. Thank you for joining me, Russell.
R&R Sundays, mate. It's good to be on, Reegan. And our first ever for the bus. You're hosting, mate. I love this.
Yeah, no mate, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully people from the Double Down show and the post-match push will join us in the future weeks. It's going to be a big feature of the bus, so I'm happy to be involved, mate.
Yeah, mate. Listen, I think you're absolutely right. I'm really hoping that we end up with, as I've always said, hopefully when people come on the Double Down show, they then get to do post-match push, and then the pinnacle of their Bhoycie bus career will be getting to be a guest on the R&R Sunday Blether with Reegan Stevenson. That's the pinnacle, mate.
Yep, and it also stands for rock and roll, so people can jump on the rock and roll bus in the morning. But no, it's a big day for Celtic, Russell, a big day, so thank you for everyone for joining us so far.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I'm loving this, mate. And it's about time that I had someone else host this bus. So I'm looking forward to getting a wee blether with you, mate. But you take it away.
So the first talking point I've got for us, Russell, is who's going to be starting up front instead of Giakoumakis?
Reegan, the questions don't get any harder than that, mate. They don't get any harder than that. I think, I don't know about you, but I think Giakoumakis' input in the last two games, albeit he's not scored, and we know he's not scored in either of the last two games, but I do feel that he has been, I think, a huge weapon against Rangers. I think he's really, really hurt them. I think in different ways. I think his feistiness, his determination, he never gives them a moment's peace. I think he is a miss today. In terms of who we get to replace him, I think the fans' hearts say Kyogo. I think the fans, I'll say it like Ange, Kyogo. I think that is who the fans are screaming for to start that game in his place. And I wouldn't be surprised if it is. My hunch, though, if you're asking me genuinely who I think will start, I think you'll go Maeda, Jota, Abada. But we'll find out probably during this live broadcast, Reegan, how wrong we are with our predictions, because they'll probably announce the lineup while we're on. What do you think?
I'm going to go for Kyogo. I know I said it for the Old Firm game at Ibrox, but I think Kyogo will start. I mean, it's a great striker. He's, like you said, you put him for player of the season for Celtic, and people weren't so sure about that. But I could totally understand why you done it, because the impact Kyogo had, and also you need to remember Russell as well. He's had a great impact at the National Stadium as well. He scored a great goal there earlier on the season. He was injured in the lead up to that game, and he got us through the cup final. So I think in terms of that, Kyogo would be the perfect option. But people in the comments can comment and let us know, because as we know, Russell, the people who comment in this show are part of the show as well, aren't they, Russell? So
You're
but
spot on.
that's the most important thing, mate, to get the people involved in the show.
I think I'm so glad you said that, mate. Totally agree with that. I think the bus wouldn't be a bus without passengers, mate. And I don't mean passengers in a patronising way. I mean, we're all in it together. And I think you're absolutely right. We need the debate. We need the debate, because you need to be challenged. I need to be challenged. It can't just be me and you singing for the same hymn sheet, or just me and you's opinion. We need all the opinions in the comments. So I'm glad you said that, mate.
Yep. So I think in terms of that, it'll be Kyogo. But yeah, I mean, I just think Rangers are going to be in for a torrid day, to be honest. I said 2-0 on the radio the other night on Go, and I think it will be 2-0, because I just think that in terms of Rangers, this is their KO moment for the season, because for me, I don't see them winning the Europa League, and I know your brother Jonathan likes to use that word, the KO moment. So I think this could be the KO moment for Rangers season, because if you look at it, Celtic go away to Ross County next weekend. You expect Celtic to win that game, and then you've got the big Old Firm game at Celtic Park, which I fully expect Celtic to win that game as well. So in terms of this game, I think the pressure's all on Rangers for me.
Regan, I totally am in agreement with that, by the way. I'm getting comments in with the starting lineup, so I'm not sure if it's been officially confirmed by Celtic yet. If you give me 2 seconds, I don't know if people are just putting in their predictions or they're putting in the official starting lineup. I'm just quickly checking it because it's quite important that we don't make a complete arse of ourselves. You can, no more of an arse of ourselves than we normally do, mate. But people are putting in the team as if they seem to know it. Bruce has now put it in. Lanky's put it in. I'm not entirely sure if they know this for a fact or they're just going with what they want. But for me, I think when you talk about the pressure, I think it's a brilliant point. I think there is heavy pressure on this game for the other side more than us. I think we've won 2 in a row. We feel right now we've got the measure of them. Would that be fair?
Yep, I don't mean this in a bad way. I know this is a Celtic channel, but I think in terms of Ange Postecoglou, I think he's got the same hand over Rangers the same way that Steven Gerrard did over Celtic. We could.
I like that.
I don't think that we could. I don't think that until Ange Postecoglou come in, it was a case of we were kind of hoping under Neil Lennon, but under Ange Postecoglou, there's going to be a confidence and a belief that this team can really impose itself on the game. And to me, that's the biggest thing for me. Because you look at the Old Firm game at Celtic Park, Celtic blew Rangers away in the first 20 minutes, and that was the game done. And I think if Celtic do that again, then it's going to be a mountain to climb for them. The other stat I just wanted to bring up for the viewers and you, and for you as well, Russell. Celtic are unbeaten in the last 17 games at Hampden Park as well. So that's not a good omen for Rangers either. Because if you look at it, and the last game that Celtic played Rangers at Hampden, see how the last time we played them was a 4-0 victory. So I'll be doing my research this morning, Russell. So yeah,
like it.
I mean, if you're a Celtic fan in this position this morning, I think you're very, very confident of what your team can achieve this afternoon.
Totally, mate. I'm interested about the the 17 games unbeaten run. I mean, I think it's one of those like things where you're looking at it going, that's almost unbelievable. I think it's 17 games, 17 wins in a row at Hampden. Like, no blips. We get this stage of the tournament, we win. It's hard to look at it in a negative way. But what we like to do in the bus, Reegan, and I'm sure you like to do this on your show, we flip it sometimes. We flip it.
Yep.
And we go, does that add extra pressure? Does that mean, fucking hell, you don't want to be the first team to break that sequence of victories, do you?
No, but I'll give you an example. I think that in terms of our Livingston record was nothing to do with those players, but you could clearly see it had an effect on them. The full week
Yes.
going into the game, because the press conference for Ange Postecoglou, he spoke about the record. Then you had the players. Would you say an over celebration for maybe going 1-0 up against Livingston? So they clearly knew what it meant. And if you look at it, you think, well, this might not be this Celtic team that got the 17 unbeaten, but it puts them in a good position anyway.
It does, mate. And I think the Livingston result we got, and such an emphatic way to break that sequence as well, Reegan, wasn't it? It was emphatic the way we dismantled. Like, that record became almost was made to look stupid. Do you know what I mean? We went to the Spaghetti Had, Almond Vale, whatever you want to call it, the Tony Macaroni Stadium. We went there, and Ange basically looked at it with disdain. First time round, though, just to play devil's advocate, he randomly picked volleyball and goalie. Remember that?
Yes, I do, because I told you this last week. But the last time Celtic lost a game was on my birthday, so that's why I remember it.
That's right. That's right. In fact, it was you who reminded me of that. Damn. Anyway, I think those records are there to be broken. So, from that point of view, we need to be cautious. I think the 17 wins in a row at Hampden, whilst it does instill confidence in you, we feel like almost it's our second home in recent times. Even when we were having the shittest season ever, we won a Scottish Cup. Let's be honest, because even though it was from the season before, it was in the midst of a dire time for Celtic. Hampden's became a bit of a stomping ground for us. How much does it play a factor in today's game?
The only bad memory I've got of a Rangers Celtic game at Hampden, it was one that we actually won. It was the Fraser Forster Cup final, I'm going to call it. The one where Fraser Forster bailed us out of that 1-0 victory when Julian scored in the last minute. I'm just hoping that we go there and we don't sit back too much, because we need to impose ourselves on the game and really stamp an authority. Also, you need to think about Rangers' recent record at Hampden. They've not won the Scottish Cup in over 10 years, Russell. So they've not got a good. They've not got a good record at Hampden.
Or you could say ever.
Yes, I mean they they did a really bad game against Aberdeen. They got beat by Hibs quite a few times. So I think going into it, psychologically, I think Celtic are a much better place than the Rangers. The next talking point we're going to go on to, Russell, is the inclusion that I think should be key today, and it's Rio Hatate.
So, take it away, mate. Take it away.
Yep, so basically I think he's been so important in the last two games. I know people come in and say, well, Matt has done well as well. He scored 2 goals last week, did Matt against St Johnstone, but I think Rio really stamped his authority on these games, and you can see that Ange Postecoglou clearly trusts him. He clearly knows what he's all about, and I think that's what Ange needs in these games. He needs people that he can trust. I'm not saying he can't trust Matt Riley, but it's like you spoke about last night with on the Double Down Show about big game players. I think Rio Hatate is one of the players where he steps up and he delivers on the big stage. So I think he'll be the man that will go into the 3-man midfield. But people can drop us a comment and let us know. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Rio, I think he scored that great goal at Celtic Park that people will always remember. And then he also scored another one as well. and he played quite a good game at Ibrox as well. So I think he's the obvious other one, and then you've got Rogic who'll be playing in his slippers, and then you've got McGregor as well. I think McGregor's been amazing this year. I really do. I can't underplay how good he's been. I think I think McGregor could play a top four side in England. That's how good I think McGregor is.
We'll take that point by point. From our point of view, Reegan, I think that you've raised loads of good points. And you're a better host than me, by the way. I know that already. I'm already feeling it. I'm like, he's schooling me at this. He's schooling me. But I'm going to go point by point. Firstly, Hatate. I think you're absolutely right. I think he's a go-to guy for Ange Postecoglou now, Reegan. I think, bullshit aside, form aside, I think when Ange picks his 11, I think he's one of the go-to guys for Ange Postecoglou. I think even if he thinks he's maybe a bit fatigued and he might only get 60, 70 minutes of Hatate's energy and drive, he feels that's a better 60, 70 minutes than he would get off another. I think Hatate will start today. I think at times he's looked like he's blown out his arse. But then again, he surprises you. I mean, against St Johnstone, he was outstanding. And can I just say as well, I thought it's 8 days since we last played a game of football, Reegan. 8 days. And
Yep.
seeing that game 8 days ago, Hatate scored the opening goal. I had a fantastic match. So I think from that regard, I think Hatate and Joe Curran comes in. He's agreeing with you as well, Reegan. He's saying he agrees that Rio could be the main man for Japan. To the almost sounds like an Ian Crocker statement. The man from Japan. But I think Hatate's huge part of Ange's philosophy, Reegan. Were you going to say something there, by the way? Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, was it not Tom Rogic who scored in the goal at Ibrox?
Oh, sorry. Tom Rogic scored the goal at Ibrox. Hatate scored against St Johnstone the first goal.
Oh, sorry,
Last week I was saying, last week it was Hatate who scored the first goal. And that was a guy who we thought at Ibrox when he came off, he was burst. Played against St Johnstone, scores the first goal, set the tone, and actually had a fantastic game. He said 8 days since then, Reegan. 8 days. It's a long time in football to be able to rest, recover, and get back to fully fitness. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a perfect position for Celtic to be in. You know, that's why I'll always have the argument with people that were saying that we shouldn't want Rangers to stay in Europe. But I think secretly it's helped us. You know, secretly we there was a few times this year where Celtic have played at home. I think it was to St Mirren, and Rangers were away to Dundee United, and they drew. And then we played at 3:00, and you know, I just think stuff like that it really helps us. And also, you've got the moment where they played Ross County after Europe as well, and they drew 3-3. So I think Europe plays a big part in their season, and I think it's quite ironic that they've done all the hard work, and then we're going to take the Champions League money.
Well, I think there's two sides to that, though. My point is, it takes 5 years for a coefficient. Who's won more coefficient points in the last 5 years?
Celtic.
Rangers or Celtic? Celtic.
Celtic.
See, at the end of the day, folk forget that recent memories, brilliant thing. And Rangers have looked. And in fact, you know what? I admit it. I'm jealous of what Rangers are doing in Europe right now. I am. But I also remember them going out to a Luxembourg team in the last 5 years. Progress, Niederkorn, or whatever they were called. Never heard of them in my life. They went out to them. Were they helping the coefficient then in the last 5 years? No, they weren't. So recent memory bias does play a part in all this. And Rangers fans could use the excuse, oh, we were shite then. I don't subscribe to that. You're so telling us you were brilliant then. You were telling us you were great then. So don't bother trying to turn it back now and go, oh, we're terrible now. Oh, we were terrible back then. See, at the end of the day, the only Scottish side that will be that goes out to a team for Luxembourg, who didn't even finish top of the league in Luxembourg, I don't even think. Right?
Yeah, I just want. I know we didn't speak about this heading into the Euros, but I wanted to get your thoughts on this. What do you make of the Rangers wanting to do the fixture change? Because to me, it's absolute madness. You know, because I was reading last night that if we do the fixture changes, then that scuppers the whole deal with Sky Sports. Why would we scupper the whole deal with Sky Sports to to help Rangers in Europe?
I think there's a couple of interesting angles on it. See, for me, deep down, if Scottish football's to progress, Reegan, you have to start trying to give your teams the best opportunity possible to achieve success in Europe, right? That's
Okay,
me. Yeah, go
okay,
on.
we'll come back to you right away then. Well, teams like AC Milan, Real Madrid, Barcelona, they don't get treatment like that.
Right, that's fair. But I think what you would have to say as well is it is a one-off for a Scottish team to get into these stages of Europe. These clubs you're referencing there have resources unknown to Scottish football. When Scottish football achieves things like getting deeper into European competition, I do think deep down I would like to see us move goalposts to try and aid them, because that's the only way you can then get to a stage where that happens on the more regular, and then you can get to a stage where, you know, Real Madrid success and stuff. I don't think Scottish clubs will ever have that, but I think getting to the latter stages of Europe should be something that we strive for. And because it's such a rarity right now, that's why I think it's different from comparing it with Real Madrid to Milan's, in my opinion.
I do understand what you're saying, but then I'll come back to you again, Russell, and say,
I love this.
do 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 we judge it on a year by year basis and say, well, Rangers are doing rubbish this year, Celtic are doing great this year, so we'll extend the season? Or, do you know what I mean?
Totally, mate. I think the problem we've got in Scotland is the divide is so huge now, Reegan, mate, right? The hate, the issue you've got, right, is Rangers won't get in my opinion, they will not get a fixture rescheduling sorted, okay? I don't think they will. The issue I've got is there's two sides to this, right? So firstly, I'm looking at it going, well, what if that's us next year? And the reason we will not get it rescheduled for us next year is because Rangers didn't last year. And that to me is such a playground argument. However, when you look at how Rangers have conducted themselves in the last 2 years, trying to go against the COVID stuff, then ripping their park up, even though they were saying that they couldn't believe the season was called. They'd called their season by ripping up their own pitch. Everyone knows it, right? They went against everyone then. This season, Scottish football didn't have a league sponsor at one point, and potentially was going to go into the abyss. They get a league sponsor, and because it's a competitor of one of their owners, Rangers, the second biggest club in the league, point blank refuse to endorse that sponsorship.
Yeah,
Go
I want to pick you up on that then, right? See, in terms of Singe, right, they are the main sponsor. So Rangers have got a feud with Singe. Do you think that'll be brought back up at the end of the season? Because Rangers are still refusing to wear the Singe badges on their shirts as well.
I think it becomes more relevant now, Reegan. I think now is when the SPFL play that card and go, you want favours off us? Wait there now. We've had 33 games of the league season played so far. 33 games you've refused to wear the league sponsor. Luckily the sponsors hung in there with us. And you're actually benefiting off that, by the way, because Rangers are getting a cut of that sponsorship money. And I think that is when everyone goes, fuck off. Do you honestly think these clubs are ever going to vote in favour of helping a club out that will literally watch the rest of the world burn in front of their eyes, Reegan? And that is the truth, over their own business affairs. And their own business affairs are so petty because they're skint. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. So, something I just want to pick up about sponsorship. Now, this is something for me, general Scottish football, but it matters to Celtic as well. It matters to Rangers this afternoon as well. We've still not got a sponsor for the Scottish Cup. You know, that is it's madness. That the Scottish Cup has got Celtic, Rangers, Hearts, Hibs in the semi-final. We've not got no. We've got Scottish Cup, but we've got no sponsor at all. I just don't get it at all. I just don't understand it.
Does that not though raise the point even more, Reegan, that maybe attracting sponsorship is quite difficult for Scottish football right now? Maybe that's on the powers that be, by the way. I think if I can get a sponsor on this podcast, I'd like to think they can get a sponsor for our national the oldest football trophy in world football is the Scottish Cup. If you can't sell that to a sponsor, you need to phone Bhoycie because I'll get it sorted for you right now. Do you know what I mean? It's poor. But what I would also flip that with is, see if the Scottish Cup is something that maybe are struggling to get a relatively priced sponsor for. Does that not tell you getting a League One is something we should be clutching to, grabbing onto it and going, yes? Cinch is a company that's sponsoring other sports, by the way, massively right now, including English cricket. They are England's national cricket team's main sponsor now, Cinch. That is a huge sport, Reegan, right?
Yeah, and they're also sponsoring the Tottenham Stadium, which is a massive.
There you go.
Which is a massive stadium.
But we're going to let one club jeopardise all of that. Now, we are lucky, Cinch, of just... I don't know, as you say, are they just putting it on the back burner till the close season and then going to set up a legal writ against Rangers? I don't know. But this club has done that against the wishes of 41 other clubs. 41 of the professional clubs, right, are wanting to be... Or is it only the Premier League? Maybe it's only the Premier League. Let's say it's only the Premier League, right? 10 other clubs. 11 other clubs. 11 other clubs, right, are part of the sponsorship deal by Cinch that is lucrative for them. I'm not saying massively like what other sponsorship deals are, but it's much needed revenue, much needed income that can make or break clubs like Livingston, for example. Rangers are ready to play poker with that, mate, all because of their own business dealings. I don't think that's right.
No, I think it's terrible. Anyway, moving on to the next talking point, Russell, we've got is Dyson Maeda going to do damage once again to Rangers today?
Will Dyson be disruptive to their rhythm once again, mate? Well, rhythm is a dancer, but Dyson Maeda is a prancer. I think the one headache, Rangers injury, has almost caused them more headaches than what, I'm gutted that Chaos can't play, right? But see, when you think about it, see if Chaos was fit, Giacomakis is fit, we know he plays up top.
Yep.
Rangers know he plays up top. Right now, and until 1 o'clock, Rangers don't know who they're up against up top. And even when the lineup's announced, they won't know which one of the three, or which, because it could be Kyogo up top, it could be Maeda up top, or it could be Abada. So these are questions. If Maeda will be in the starting 11 either way, I think he absolutely caused havoc. Danger Maeda, I call him, Reegan. And I think it's so appropriate. I think what you'll see from Maeda again today is a press like Rangers have never felt in their life. I don't care who they've played this year, Dortmund, the lot. Dyson Maeda has batteries that are just unknown to normal people. He is a machine. He is a nightmare for the likes of a fullback like Tavernier, right? Or Tavernier, whatever you say his surname, right? But if you're a centre-half and you're Connor Golston or whoever else it is that plays centre-back, I don't even know who they are, Bassey, whoever it is, Balogun, see when he's pressing them, that's a nightmare. See when Alan McGregor's got the ball and he's been told by Gio to do that short passing game, which you could tell is that the polar opposite of what Alan McGregor wants to do. You're looking at it going, Maeda running at you, if it's through the middle or from the wings, either way is a nightmare. He is a conundrum in his own, Reegan.
Yep, I mean, it's what Dyson Maeda does is it goes unnoticed, but not with Celtic fans, because he just seems to run that channel all day long. I think he's still pressing somebody down at London Road at the moment. I mean, the guy just runs for fun, and I really enjoy what he does. So, no, I think he'll be a total danger today. I just want to ask you, Guy, I don't know this was a talking point that we brought up, Russell, but I'm so glad that Ange takes the Scottish Cup so seriously, because I don't know if you've seen it yesterday, but Man City Liverpool, Pep Guardiola put his second goalkeeper in, and the second goalkeeper cost him the game. You know, I'm so glad that we don't put Scott Bain in for the Scottish Cup.
I think it's a good point. For me, English football is all about winning the Premier League title or Champions League success. They don't give a shit about the other tournaments. We can't afford to be like that in Scotland. We just can't afford to take that attitude if we were playing Scott Bain today, for example, in a semi-final, Ange would get absolute pelters. And do you know what? Rightfully so. Because we can't afford to take those risks. There's too much riding on it. I think we all care too much in this country. When I say too much, I like it. I just think that down there there's apathy towards what are historic tournaments down there now. All they care about is the glamour, the glitter of the Champions League or the Premier League trophy. And if they're not involved in that, I think these wishy-washy fans don't really give a monkeys, to be honest. And that's how you get away with playing second choice keepers. It bit Pep Guardiola on the arse today. And luckily, we've got a manager who will treat the Scottish Cup semi-finals today with the respect it deserves. And by the way, could I just say, we'll play this game as if it was against any other Scottish, treating it with respect, Reegan.
Yep. Just this wasn't something that I brought away this morning, but I did see it on YouTube yesterday, and it was Craig Moore was on Go Radio, and he was talking about Ange Postecoglou. Did you see it?
No, go on.
And he was saying that he thinks Ange would be tempted by a top 10 club in England.
Whether he'd be tempted by it or not, I'm not so sure. I'll flip it again, Reegan. I'll flip it again, right? I think if there's top 10 clubs in England looking at switching manager in the summer, they'd be making a mistake not bringing Ange Postecoglou into their thinking. How easy it is to sway him, though, to leave, I don't know. I think that's open for debate.
No, but I think the point that me and you made last week is that he wouldn't go for a top 10 club, he would go for a bigger club than that. That was the point I'm making, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, if it was to be a top 10 club like a Leicester City as a prime example, they would need to be offering him something special. He wouldn't leave on the reputation of Leicester City being in a Conference League semi-final or whatever. He wouldn't, that's not going to tickle his bollocks. He wants Ange it would need to be a club that has ambition to be top 6 England, year on year, unless they already are one of those clubs. As I've always said, I mean, if clubs in England took Scottish football seriously, and maybe you could throw this accusation at myself, and we took Australian or Japanese football seriously, you would know Ange Postecoglou at Manchester United would be an unbelievable great fit. But we are not advocating Ange to leave, by the way, just so everyone knows who's watching. But is he good enough?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think Ange would be a great fit, man. You plays amazing football, and also he doesn't take any crap either. And also, you can see what he's done in his first year at Celtic. He's basically going to take a club that was on its knees to the Champions League. So, and you're talking about a guy, Ten Hag, who's won a couple of trophies in Ajax. Now, you're trying to tell me that that's better than what Ange Postecoglou's done? I don't think so.
Absolutely not. And I think the comments coming in are very, very interesting. I think Brown Warrior's got a point here, and I don't like to be a Celtic paranoia fan, Reegan, if that makes sense. I don't subscribe to a lot of it. But I think the reaction in the lead up to a game, the links on national radio to Ange he might be swayed from an ex-Rangers player. It's a bit suspect, isn't it? And Craig Moore knows. I know you're his pal, Reegan. I know you're a Go Radio regular, right? But
I just think because Craig Moore knows Ange well, he knows him well. So,
but he's saying it in the lead up to this game, mate, as well. And I don't think you can blame him. And maybe he is being honest. But I also can see it from Brown Warrior's point of view going, awfully convenient, this comes up right ahead. I think they enjoy talking about, his head might be turned. It's like a relief thing. This might be over before it gets started. My vibe is Ange is exactly where he wants to be. See, if Ange was to leave Celtic, right? No matter where he goes, he will never, ever, at any big club, have the control he's got at Celtic right now. Ange has almost got Martin O'Neill control of Celtic, right? And that, by the way, is it because the board have been forward-thinking, Reegan, in this, by the way, right?
Nope.
They've landed lucky They got recommended him at the last minute after messing up the Eddie Howe thing, and now Ange Postecoglou, without a head of recruitment, without a director of football, without any coaches beside him, has achieved the, well, not quite yet, but is on the verge and on the brink of achieving, legendary status, really. I think Ange likes that. I've told you this before. I think there's a naughty bit in Ange where he goes, I could play the poor little me card, but really, I like the fact it's all my players. I like the fact all the training regimes are mine. I like the fact there's no other words in my ear confusing my vision. I think he likes that, mate.
As I said to you last week, Russell, I think also the important fact is he's got no director of football, so every single player he's bringing in, he's thought, well, this is the guy for me, and if you're not going to buy it, then then it's not going to be here. Do you know what I mean? You see, in January, everybody thought it was the end of the world when the Australian boy knocked his back, and then Ange just goes out and plucks out somebody for MK Dons out of nowhere.
I think he's a man with a plan, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's almost like he knew that guy might turn us down. What was he called? What was he even called? McGree or something?
Matty McGree.
Whatever his name is, who cares? I think Ange knew if he turns us down, and he might turn us down, by the way. I've already got the next option there lined up. See if Ange is going to be like that. Can you imagine what he'll be like with quadruple the money to spend, which could potentially be the case this summer? They both have to back him, right?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that question. Do you think they'll let him spend it? Because we spoke last week about Dermot Desmond doing that interview with Celtic, and I'm just not so sure, but hopefully, because Celtic just don't want to progress in Scotland, they want to progress in Europe as well.
Do they though? That's the big question. They have to match this manager's ambition. My hunch is Celtic are quite settled. I think, I'm not going to be a prick here, I think a lot of the fan base are quite happy doing this. No, to Rangers. And as if that's some sort of progression for the club. I don't see it that way.
No,
I think we should be jealous of a Europa League semi-final, and we should be thinking that'll be us next year. That's the attitude I want us to take.
Yeah, I mean, that's not my ambition either. My ambition is to see Celtic in the best possible places, because if we want to progress as a club, and like, there should be a succession plan. I mean, you look at every top club. I think you spoke to the guy the other night that spoke to Ange Postecoglou the other day. He spoke about Benfica and how they've got so many players lined up for when David Luiz leaves, when Jota leaves, when all these players leave. They've got so many options there to bring in, and I think that's what Celtic should do as a club. You know, the whole Ange thing was a plan B, a plan C, plan D, whatever. You know, and even the whole signing policy, the first couple of signings this summer were Joe Hart and James McCarthy, and people were saying, "Oh, this is Dermot Desmond operation. Here we go." But like, part of the problem was as well as I think that's why you're seeing Ange not playing James McCarthy, because this was a guy that he never signed personally. I think Ange just loved that full control, as you said there. The next talking point we want to go into, Rusty, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's go. What one?
Yep, so fantastic Furuhashi is fit. So my point on Kyogo would be that he's got a great track record of handling his score. He's got great memories, and I think he'll be the man to lead the line. I think he'll, and it's like you said last night on the show. I think that in terms of Furuhashi, he's kind of like Edward and Dembele, whereas he likes the big platform, the big occasion where the game's being showcased, and I think this is a perfect chance for him.
I think the hearts tell you, I don't mean the jam tarts, I mean our hearts want Kyogo to play Of course we do. And I loved Angie's interview, Reegan, the other week when he was saying, everywhere I turn, mate, you know, he's there, he's jumping up in front of me, you know, and he's just basically, I know my impression shit, but he's just jumping up in front of him everywhere he turns, and he's like, boss, remember I'm fit now, pick me. Could today be the day? If it is, you've got no doubts. The bigger the occasion, I feel the better Kyogo is. This is a guy born to pull on the hoops, mate, right? Born for the big stage. We had other players like this in the past, right? I generally think Moussa Dembele had that same star quality that Kyogo's got, right? And Dembele, by the way, see, to be fair to him, was very young when he was at Celtic. He was 20 years old. 19, I think, when we signed him. 20. He Panenka penaltied against Rangers in a Scottish Cup semi-final. Panenka penalty. That's the first time in the history of the Glasgow Derby that's ever been done. That arrogance, I then seen replicated in the Hibs League Cup final. See when Kyogo does that wee cushion volley lob? That's so outrageous, mate. It's almost confidence beyond confidence oozing out of him. If he plays today, firstly, his name in the team sheet puts the shitters up them, right? No two ways. Then you actually look at it on the pitch, Reegan, and you think, what a problematic situation that is, because they've never faced Kyogo through the middle, remember? The last time he played against them, he was wide. I think that might actually play into our hands. I think some of them think he might not be all it. And that will be the biggest mistake they ever make.
Yeah, I mean, and don't forget, Russell, that Edwards scored a Panenka penalty in the treble final against Hearts.
Yes, but sorry, I meant a Glasgow Derby. Glasgow Derby, I was
sorry.
meaning. Aye, no, I get you. But no, Dembele did it against Rangers. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it just showed the confidence he had. I mean, what Kyogo's got as well in his favour, Russell, is that he knows that he's back fit now and he's ready to go for this business end of the season. You know, he wants to. I think Ange said a comment after the League Cup final when they beat Jack Ross's side. He said, "Look, Kyogo said I had that he was definitely going to be on this bus. There wasn't a chance he was going to miss this." So I think this is the same case today. I think if we end up slogging this game out and winning in a bad way, or say we end up losing, I think Kyogo will be doing everything possible to make sure he's on that pitch and he's contributing to the Celtic squad today.
I think his name casts a shadow, mate. They are clutching, as Phil McGinley rightfully says, they are clutching to the fact he was ineffective when he played left wing at Ibrox. However, remember he was shifted up top for the last 20 minutes? 2 1-on-1s. The one he should have shot, he passed, and the one he should have passed, he shot, right?
Yep.
That won't happen again. Won't happen again.
Nope. I just want to touch on something that we spoke about before, Russell.
Sure.
And that was the impact on Postecoglou. I don't know if you've seen an interview that Ryan Christie done.
No, I've not seen it.
Right, well, Ryan Christie basically spoke to Rob McLean from BBC and basically said that...
That's your second best pal, mate. That's your second best pal.
No, basically said that he knew that Ange Postecoglou was going to make the impact. He said because see when he first came in at Celtic, he said every player was just buying into what he was doing. He said that basically every player was so tuned in, they wanted to do so well for the guy, and he says possibly that could have swayed his mind, but he said that his dad was saying this might be the only chance he gets to play in the Premier League. So that's why he moved to the Premier League.
I think he's, do you know the honest truth? I think he's full of shite. I think that Ryan Christie is completely rewriting history. I think it's great to, wax lyrical about how great the new manager is and stuff. If he truly believed that, he would have stayed. Ryan Christie had checked out over 12 months before the time he eventually left.
Yeah, I do agree with that as well.
He's sending nice sound bites now about Celtic because he wants to get back in favour with the support right now who probably don't have the best viewpoint. No, for me, Ryan Christie, if he thinks going to Bournemouth in the Championship, mate, is going to the Premier League, then he's living in cuckoo land. You know, he's living in cuckoo land. I don't think that's the truth. I think Ryan Christie wanted out. I've got no time for players who, to me, at 23 years old, 23, eventually made the grade at Celtic. And by the time they're 26, I think they're too good for Celtic. And Ange Postecoglou would have had his number very early on. I don't think Ryan Christie features in the Celtic midfield. If he was a part of the squad right now, he doesn't even fit in that Celtic squad right now. You might think he does. Trust me, Celtic's moved on. And Tom Rogic right now is sitting with a cigar and a pair of slippers going, listen, Ryan, mate, I know you do all the running. And I know apparently the rest of Angie's team does all the running. I'm still in my slippers. I'm real class. Tom Rogic still gets in that Ange team despite being completely different profile to the rest of the players. Does Ryan Christie making that team ahead of a Tatty or McGregor? Does he fuck? So he can talk shite all he wants, mate. See, as far as I'm concerned, he's done and dusted. He went to play in front of 11,000 fans a week in the Championship, and he wants to dress it up like a move for the best chance of getting the Premier League. See, the fact you've left Celtic and you can't go straight to the Premier League tells you where your ability lies. And don't sugarcoat Ange Postecoglou bullshit, because if you believe him that much, he would have stayed.
Yeah, I do agree with that as well.
Rant over.
I do think part of the problem with these players now, Russell, they all talk in Scotland, and you talk like people like Tierney Robertson, who will be integral with Ryan Christie, will probably be saying they're down in England as well. So that might have a wee sway in them as well.
Totally agree, mate. Totally agree. I think right now what Ange's trying to do is he's trying to. This is the first time, and I was saying this the other night, it's not just the first 11 that Ange Postecoglou picks, Reegan, right? It's about, say, his first 16, shall we say, right? See his top 16 players right now. His top 16 players. All 16 of them are at the club they want to be at, Reegan. That is so unusual in recent history of Celtic. See, usually in your top 11, top 16 players, half of them have one eye on their next move.
Yeah,
Go on.
It was like I said to you last week, right? Brendan Rodgers was very good for Celtic, but he was very bad in a sense as well, because someone at the club always said to openly in the press that Brendan said to every single player, you play for Celtic, then in a couple of years you'll get this big move. That's what Brendan said to every single player. He didn't say, well, let's do your best as Celtic. He said, do your best for 2 years and you'll be off. So to me, that is not the attitude. And see, Ange, he came out 2 weeks ago and said, I'm not going to buy players that don't want to be at this club. This club's big enough. So if you don't want to be here, don't be here.
Brown Warrior comes in, stepping stone Celtic, the same as Armstrong. Now, you know Tony Haggerty, Reegan, and now Tony, to me, I know whatever fallouts I've had with the other pod, Tony is someone that I generally had a hell of a lot of respect for, and I spoke to regularly about football, and he absolutely loved the fact, because he's a writer, he went, Bhoycie, that's genius. He said to me, he was on the phone, he goes, you've called us. Do you know what you called us today on the podcast? I'm like, what? I can't even mind half the stuff I say. Do you know what I mean? He was like, Stepping Stone FC. He goes, that is genius. He goes, that's properly accurate as well. Stepping Stone FC is what Celtic were. It was all, and Brown Warriors now agreeing with it. It was all about, come sign for us and we can get you there. Why? Ange Postecoglou now signs guys and goes, do you want to be here? Because here is the place to be. I think that's shining through, Reegan, in this Celtic side, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, look at someone like Chan, who played with Celtic, Russell. Chan, every single summer, was always telling the French media, I don't want to be at Celtic, I'm always looking for somewhere else to go. You know, this was the always...
Enchan!
Yes.
Who the fuck do they think they are? Olivier Enchan? Come on. You know, who do they think they are, Reegan? Who do you think they are?
Yep. But then the next point we just want to go on to, Russell, is the point the point I didn't bring up with you, but it's another point. Do we think the 50-50 split will make a difference today as well? Because this is the first time in a while there's been 50-50 split.
This is why you're the host today, mate, because I had not even thought. I hadn't even thought of that aspect. Fucking hell. I genuinely hadn't even took that into consideration. That's genius. Because, of course, normally it's been either, well, in February it was 100% Celtic fans. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever it was, 2 weeks ago, it was 10% if that Celtic fans.
Yep.
This time it's 50-50. For the first time in what, 2.5, 3 years? Since the League Cup final when Julian scored, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the first time since
Wow.
Since then.
You are putting me out of a job, young man. You are 100% putting me out of a job. I had never, ever took that into consideration.
So bring in your comments. Do you think that this will make a difference? Do you think it brings the natural order back with the Glasgow Derby, or do you think it's going to make no difference at all?
Well, I'll tell you why I think that's a clever point. Because clearly, both, well, particularly Rangers, think there is an advantage when there's, 7,000 out 50,000 at Ibrox, the Brimley stand, is it 8,000 it holds? They clearly see that's giving Celtic an advantage. That was their mindset. And obviously the party and the gloating and stuff, fair enough. But when then we reciprocated that, we went into the tit for tat thing. And I get that, by the way. However, 25-25, for me, they've got more skeletons in the cupboard of the years that they had to change that support. You look at the spine of their team: Tavernier, Goldsons, Ryan Jacks, Morelos, etc. Right? They were all part of the side that had to get the Brimley stand shut down because they were all scared of other fans. Well, they like 25,000 Celtic fans. I don't think so. I think that's a brilliant point, Reegan. In fact, I think that does shift it more into our favour. Do you know that?
In terms of psychological, Russell, do you think that?
Yeah, I don't think they have made it clear they don't want Celtic fans present. When there was 60,000, they got absolutely humped. When there was 700, they got beat. When there was none, they won. Oh, they'll not like it, mate. No. Look at the facts, mate. When have they beaten us when there's been 25,000 Celtic fans there in the last 10 years?
Yep.
When?
None.
None. See the results. They were gloating about 2.5 years since they beat us, or 2 years since they beat us. Yeah, they got the odd win. 1-0 under Gerrard, etc. Right? We went on to win the league. You tell me in the last 10 years how many critical games, Hampden games, for example, 50-50 split. They'll not like that, mate. They'll not like that.
Yeah, so I think that this sways in Celtic's favour as well, Russell, because if you look at it, this is not a Celtic problem. This was something that Rangers interrogated. So
totally.
If you're a Celtic and you're Ange Postecoglou, you're just looking forward to seeing 25,000 Celtic fans there.
I think you're spot on, mate. Honestly, Reegan, I think you've nailed it. It's such a clever point that you've raised, though. I genuinely wish I'd thought that. I think the fans thing's massive. There has been a tit for tat going on with both clubs. And genuinely, my opinion, without trying to be biased, without trying to be overly biased, I think Celtic would never, ever have opted for just 700 Rangers fans. I think the 7,000, 8,000, whatever it was at each ground, Celtic were cool with all that. I think Rangers moved the goalposts on that in fear or rage, whatever you want to call it, to get a siege mentality. I genuinely think, now you think about the 50-50 split, 50-50 split. Now, someone's saying Warburton didn't beat us, though. He beat us on penalties, you know what I mean? And I think even then the gloating was unbelievable. We drew 2-0 with them. Penalty shootouts, a lottery. Do you know what I mean? I am now taken by that point, Reegan. Really am. 25,000 Celtic fans, 25,000 Rangers fans. Here's the question you ask, and Triple H, I don't know if you remember, well, this is way before your time. Triple H in the wrestling, right?
I love
He did an Iron Man match against The Rock. The first ever, it was 1 hour. It wasn't the first ever, it was second ever. It was a 1 hour match. And do you know the question he asked? Can you hang, Rock? Can you hang? And I think that's the question you ask the Rangers today. Can you hang with us for 90 minutes? 50-50 crowd, big pitch. Can you hang with the best team in Scotland? Can you hang? I'm not convinced they can.
Yeah, I mean, here's another thing. In terms of Joe Hart, I think he's going to be key as well, because if you look at it, I think Rangers' best chance to score this afternoon will be set pieces as well. So I'm thinking that Joe Hart needs to sort that central defence in the midfield out, because if you look at Celtic, I think going forward, Celtic are different treats to Rangers, and I think last season we would have been. I think we would be so far off that. So I think you need to give credit to Ange Postecoglou there.
Yes, we do. Now we spoke on the bus, right, with Jonathan on the Monday Club. Me and Jonathan had quite a big debate about set pieces. I think it was the first time Celtic had a 12-day, 13-day break in between games. And me and Jonathan both said, I hope they're working on defending set pieces. Whilst Andrew's now got them, because at that point, up to that, it had been weekend, midweek. And you know, in terms of recovery and stuff, how many training sessions really they're getting. I had this 2-week period, and I said, look, I hope they're looking at the set piece stuff, because I think we're still vulnerable there. I still would say, Reegan, I think that's their best chance of a goal today.
Yep. I'm going to ask you one more question before we go. Do you think that Ange would be tempted, because Juranovic has played so well against Rangers? Do you think he'd be tempted to play Tony Ralston at right back and Juranovic left back?
And I'm tempted to play Tony Ralston if I was in charge. I'm tempted. It'll be very, very interesting to see whether Ange does that. If I'm honest, I think he will play Juranovic. If it was me in charge, I would go with Ralston. Genuinely, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would, because I think that Juranovic offers so much, and Ralston as well. I think Ralston's been great this year. I'm just going to see if we can find the Celtic team right now. I'm just going to go check.
Ooh, is it Jenkins up?
It should be.
It's 1:45. I'm retweeting their page. No, still not there yet on the Celtic Twitter anyway. But what I also want to say, we're being asked about post-match pish, Reegan. Now, I don't know what you're up to for the game today, but I'm looking for a happy bus after the game. Now, we had our record views ever 2 weeks ago, Reegan. I know you were too busy on Go Radio, hanging about with your celebrity pals, mate, and you smashed it, by the way. And no wonder you went on the bus. I loved it. But we had six of the Double Down guys on the bus. Reegan, would you be willing to come on post-match pish? I think we'll go for 5 p.m. today.
I should be on, yep, but do you know when I'm watching it?
No.
I'm watching it with my uncle, who is a Rangers fan, so
I love it, mate.
That should be interesting.
Well, mate, if you've got a black eye, you're still welcome to come on the show, mate. But we will be doing, I know there's quite coming. Are you doing a post-match? Of course we are. I might be absolutely steaming by then, but there's going to be a few of the regular contributors coming on and joining us for post-match pish. Because you know, Reegan, this bus is all about the community. It's all about, we've built up regular viewers in there that their names come up. Brown Warrior, for example, he's never been on the show. I'm not going to put any pressure to come on. He's welcome to come on. But I bring up his comments like he's part of the family. Do you know what I mean? Every week. David Kelly's another one. no interest in coming on the show, but is regular in the comments. I love doing that. Now, for me, the post-match push, when we had 6, 7 of us, that was the community. You were seeing it in front of your eyes. And by the way, none of it's scripted, none of it. What we're going to talk about today, guys, let's party. Hopefully, this afternoon, it'll be a party again. Is there anything you want to add before we go, Reegan? And by the way, can I just ask everyone in the comments, what a job this boy has done at hosting. He has blown my mind. He's so much better than me at it. I'm actually annoyed. I'm almost going to cancel the show.
I'm not getting counted on 2 Celtic podcasts this year whatsoever.
He's not getting cancelled off 2 Celtic podcasts. What was it, that wee twat, King Tutsface? He texts me saying, fly with the crows, you get shot with the crows. No sympathy for Reegan at all. Oh, shut up, mate. Reegan's the soundest guy in Celtic Podland. You're sadly not. Or as much as you want to spend hours of your time defending your job, the fact is, nobody cares. Reegan Stevenson, you are flavour of the month. You're the man.
I just want to finally add, Russell, what is your score prediction for today, mate?
3-1.
3-1. Mine is 2-0, and we'll probably be getting clipped later on by Rangers fans, which is quite funny. But
well, we've got to tell the truth, though, mate. We've got
yeah,
to go with our guts, mate.
I'm going to go for Kyogo Furuhashi to score 2 goals.
I like that. That's going deep into it. That is now going deep into it. I mean, who's to score the goals? I would normally just say Chaos because I love him. I think Atati scores today. In fact, no, I change it. I'm going to go back to my, creature of habit. Tom Rogic scores today.
Okay. I'm kind of tempted to stay on until we see the teams, Russell, but I don't know when we see the teams.
Mate, we can do that, mate. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. We can do whatever you want. You're the host, mate.
So send in some comments and let us know how you're feeling for the game.
Aye, mate, I'm sound with that. I love that attitude. Who else would say that? Bhoycie. Oh, it's there.
Are we there?
Right. Juranovic, Carter Vickers, Starfelt, Taylor, standard back 4. We picked the midfield correctly. McGregor, Atati, Rogic. But up top, there's no Kyogo, mate. He's on the bench. It's Shota, Maeda, and Abada. Yeah. Who plays through the middle?
Did you know, this is the one problem I've got then, right? The one problem I've got is the one game Maeda played up front, we drew nothing each. That is away to, I think it was, we played against Sean Maloney's side, 0-0. That's the one
I
game.
know.
And for me, I would have played Kyogo. I would have played him for 60 minutes, then took him off.
But look, see, at the end of the day, I'm just looking at these guys, up close, mate. He doesn't get these calls wrong. I think we need to go with it. And by the way, Abada's coming into the team having not started, I think, the last 3 games. He's got 15 goals and 11 assists this year. It's hardly like we're diluting quality, is it?
Nope. So what are we all thinking of that start 11 then, guys? Because I want to get your thoughts just before we head off.
Right, okay. I'm going to tell you how I see it. If it was me,
on you go.
Before the comments come in, we'll do them after. Absolutely. For me, it'll be Maeda through the middle. I don't see Ange playing Abada through the middle. I think it'll be Maeda through the middle, Jota back to his preferred left wing, and Abada on the right. Reegan?
Yep. Russell, can you tell me the Celtic bench, please? Just want to see if James Forrest is on there.
James Forrest is on the bench. The bench is Scott Bain, Chris Julian's back in the squad, Kyogo, Turnbull, McCarthy, Johnston, Ideguchi, wow, O'Reilly, Forrest, Ralston, and Stephen Welsh.
Right, I think that's a solid bench.
But how do you see the front 3 going?
I see it going with Maeda up front with Jota and Abada left and right. But
You're the same as me.
yep, but that kind of puts a bit of doubt in my mind, to be honest, because of the fact that when Maeda played before, it was 0-0 when we went to Sean Maloney's side.
Now, I've got to pull up Daniel MC here. Give Reegan his own midweek show with one of his mates. Now, Daniel, don't look. Reegan, if you've been paying attention, is now the host every Sunday, mate. And we
Every single
spoke at
Sunday.
length, mate, didn't we? About the fact that the first week I'll be the guest just to make sure the transition's all right. And then, as you said at the top of the show, Reegan, what will we be doing?
We'll be bringing on the punters that are on post-match push and also the Double Doon show.
There we go.
And maybe a few other people as well, if I can persuade them on.
Absolutely. So trust me, Daniel, it's all in the works, mate. It's all in the works. But I'm glad you're enjoying Reegan's content, because to me, it's been the biggest transfer of the season. And do you know what? It was an easy move. See, when me and Reegan will sit with a Bhoycie Bus t-shirt, shaking each other's hand. We need to get that photo sorted. In fact, we will sort that. And that will be the biggest transfer. Do you know what? It was an easy move, an easy decision for Scotland's top striker. Reegan, have you got anything to add to the show before we go?
No, just thank you to everybody who's watched, and hopefully Celtic get the result that everybody's won.
Guess how many are watching right now, Reegan?
How many?
138!
There we go, lads.
What a start you have made. Paul McFarlane wants your wages doubled already. We don't back down, Reegan. We doubled down. Hey! Listen, enjoy today, everybody. Reegan, thank you so much for hosting this. This has been so enjoyable. I've loved being the guest. Honestly, I've loved it. And you are so much better than me at this that we might need to have a chat off air about how we drive this bus with 2 steering wheels, because you're that good, mate.
Oh, God.
Enjoy your day with your uncle, and I hope your uncle has a torrid time.
Me too, mate. Me too.
I'll see you guys later. Thanks as always to fanboyfootball.com, by the way, for sponsoring the show. Their efforts are incredible. There is Bhoycie Bus t-shirts on that site as well. I've got to get that in. Sorry, because I know it's commercial stuff, but we need to do it. And thanks to everyone for watching. Reegan, I'll see you later.
See you soon, guys.
Some of his comments about me deliberately trying to cause controversy. Well, I work in the media now, and you've got someone sitting there next to you who's an embarrassment to the media profession. He's an apologist. He's a charlatan.